Did you know that 100-watt guitar amps can be 25 decibels louder than the recommended safe zone at 85 decibels at their max setting, such as the one I'm using right now? So today I'm going to talk about how loud noises are created from guitar amps and how we can do to protect our ears when we're either at concerts, practicing, or as musicians themselves. I first want to talk about how guitar amps are able to create such loud noises from effectively nothing, like these strings. And then I can go into how loud noises affect our hearing and what kind of damage it can cause. And finally, I'll talk about things we can do to protect our hearing, such as like earplugs. So I first wanted to talk about how guitar amps are able to create sound and make it loud. So guitar amps at their loudest, such as this one I have, can get up to 110 decibels, which is way above the harmful limit, which is at 85 decibels. So when you're at concerts, usually the decibel limit at the absolute max is like 120 decibels, which can be really bad for your hearing if you're around it for long periods of time. So first off, guitar amps are able to create sound by taking the vibrations from these guitar strings and creating them into weak electrical signals, which can then get boosted by a preamplifier. And these enhanced signals are then sent to the part of the power amp, which makes the signal strength strong enough to drive the speakers and make sound. And according to a research paper at the University of Bristol, different amplifier classes like Class AB and Class D have different efficiency at using the sound. For example, Class D amplifiers are more efficient as they can recycle certain energy components while reducing power losses compared to a Class AB amplifier. And the efficiency of a speaker determines how effectively it can convert electrical powers into sound. And this measurement is measured in decibels, as I mentioned earlier. So 1 watt of power from 1 meter away will equal 1 decibel. And this amp right here that I'm on is 100 watts. For example, a speaker rated at 100 decibels at 1 watt equals at 1 meter will sound way louder than one rated at 90 decibels at 1 watt at 1 meter, when both are driven by the same power source. But if you want to make that 90 watt speaker sound like a 100 watt speaker, you need 10 times the power to make it sound equal. Which means that using more efficient speakers can make amps significantly louder without increasing the power output. And overall, the loudness of a guitar amp is a result of both the amplification process and the efficiency of the speakers being used. So they kind of work together. But this loudness, at their max, can really cause really bad hearing loss or tinnitus. For example, guitar amps, especially used when they're at their high volumes, can produce sound levels exceeding 120 decibels. And according to MDPI, such intense sound exposure can lead to noise-induced hearing loss, or commonly referred to as NIHL, which is the second most common cause of any kind of hearing loss globally. NIHL results from damage to the hair cells in the cochlea due to excessive noise exposure, leading to permanent hearing damage, which is irreversible and cannot be gained back through the use of hearing aids. And many musicians are the common victims to this phenomenon, or not phenomenon, but they experience a lot more prolonged exposure to loud sounds during practices or live shows. And the National Library of Medicine says that this repeated exposure can cause temporary threshold shifts where hearing sensitivity decreases after noise exposure. So they kind of get used to loud noises after hearing it for so long. And over time, these shifts can actually be permanent, leading to chronic hearing issues such as tinnitus and hypercerosis. And these studies from NLM have actually shown that musicians are at a higher risk of developing these conditions due to their job, where they have to be around loud noises. And this just goes to show how dangerous guitar amps could be after prolonged exposure at loud volumes, especially at a live show. And this can go towards audience members too. If they go to a lot of shows every week and are constantly listening to loud music and loud noises, their hearing can go out too. So I found that wearing earplugs is one of the best ways to protect your ears while you're at a concert or anywhere with loud noises. And that high fidelity earplugs are the best kind of earplugs to use because you still get the crisp, clear sound of being at a live show, but it protects your hearing from being damaged. So I found this is one of the best options because you can still enjoy the show that you're at without having any complications with not being able to hear as well because like you have bad earplugs. And examples published by the Hearing Journal has found that concertgoers who wore earplugs had significantly lower rates of temporary hearing loss compared to those who didn't wear hearing plugs. And another useful method that can protect your hearing that I found was to be further away from speakers. And this can definitely reduce your exposure to the harmful sound levels that come from these loud amps. And because happens because sound intensity decreases with distance. So when you're standing at a far enough distance away from the stage, your hearing won't be as affected as much. And the World Health Organization recommends that individuals maintain a safe distance from loudspeakers and take regular breaks in quieter areas during events like live concerts to protect your hearing. And this means that you can still go to a show and enjoy your favorite artists while still protecting your hearing and making sure that you don't damage your ears. And today we've talked about how amplifiers work and through signal and speaker amplification and how their high volumes can cause permanent hearing loss and how concert goers are able to take steps to protect their ears using tools like earplugs or distancing themselves from speakers. And I think it is important to understand how amps work because it can help you not only protect your ears, but it can also prevent hearing loss. And whether you're in the stage or the crowd, awareness of how loud guitar amps are and their potential harm can make sure you have healthy listening habits. And you want to listen to music for the rest of your life, so why not protect your ears? And you can do that forever.